Hey everybody, Scruffed here. Welcome back to Saxlingham. We are carrying on with our Let's Play series. We're on episode 2. In the last episode, I harvested the 2 fields down here, right by our small farm that we started off with. And we did a field of barley that I sold straight away because I needed the money, because I wanted to put it down on a deposit for this baler. With it being a class dealership, going with kind of class equipment and horse, because there was a horse thing outside the dealership, so I thought, well, they obviously sell horse stuff too. But we're going with John Deere tractors and stuff like that. So, yeah, bit of a mix between class and John Deere. So I got that. And, yeah, I needed to sell the barley, unfortunately. It was the worst time to sell it, but I needed to kind of get some money in. I don't want to be taking out loans. An airplane? I don't really know. Sounds like one. I mean, if there is an airplane and I see it in a second, that's going to be so cool. Or is it just a sound effect? I mean, I haven't noticed one. Anyway, what's he on about? Yeah. So last episode we did the 2 fields. We got 1 field of wheat though that we kept, and it's currently in the silo. So I think it's about 40,000. Yeah, just under. But in this video we're going to be doing the other 2 fields that we start with. So we actually start with 7, 19, then the farm, which is 85. That's that whole section, which we've put a cow pasture in. That we've got no cows in yet because we can't afford them, but we are planning on rearing animals, well, basically rearing beef stock. We're going to buy them as calves or young stock, fatten them up and sell them. Not doing any breeding. Whatever we buy, as soon as it's at the weight to sell, we're going to sell it. But like I said, we also start with these 2 fields down here. So these are ready to harvest. Now, what I want to do is I want to do the harvesting. I'm going to set up an auto drive course to come down to these 2 fields and do the carting for me. So we're going to do that first, and then we can just crack on and do 2 harvests. I was going to use the worker to try and do something in these fields, but I've got straw and I need the money, so I'm not going to like cultivate, for example. Can't do the balers because the only tractor I'm going to have free just wouldn't pull the baler. In fact, it would only just pull the cultivator, but it's still underpowered. I think it's 140 horsepower, my other John Deere, and the plough's 190. No, sorry, the plough's 210 horsepower and the cultivator's 190, so I'm stuck either way, basically. But I was thinking about maybe doing, 1 field of bales whilst in between this episode and the last one, and then do some cultivating with the worker. But we're going to miss that out. We're focusing on this harvest, get it all sorted, then we can figure out the fields. They also need ploughing, because of this series, I am playing with periodic ploughing enabled. Not doing stones, really don't like the idea of stones. I'd never play with stones on. But this time around, yeah, we're going with periodic ploughing. So I'm glad we started off with a really decent sized plough, because we're going to need it. But we haven't got the right equipment as of now because it's too focused on other tasks and occupied. So let's focus now solely on the auto drive route. I'm going to start with the first field, but I'm going to try and do this the best I can. It's been ages since I've set up an auto drive course, but I know I'm going to make this point here 2-way. So we'll start the tractor off and we'll get to the road first, and then we'll break out into like single path or one direction. Not the band at all. We're not on about that. No chance. Right, so from there, what we can do is cancel it, and then if we start it back up now, we should see that it's connected. Yes, it has. That's perfect. So I've probably made that corner a little bit tight, I will be honest, but yeah, it'll be all right. We can widen it out when we come back down. But now we're on the left hand side of the road. We're going straight to the field. In fact, I will bring the map up at the bottom left hand corner of the screen, just because I want to make sure I don't go past it. It is a long straight out to these fields, but yeah, I've got to get this right, because there's going to be a few trips at least for these, because they're much bigger fields than we did in the last episode, and it's going to be our main source of income. And we really need a bit of cash in, because I've got to pay off that baler. It's a lot of money each month for what I'm kind of currently in. I've got no other sources of income, at the moment than this harvest. And every month I'm going to be losing probably close to like 2,000 at this point. So even though it made sense at the time, it does sound like a poor financial decision, because I've only got, 4 months maybe to last me out financially. So we're in dire need. We really are. But anyway, let's focus on this one first. We're going to go focus on field 3. That's the entrance there. going to turn crop destruction off just as I do this. Now, really, what I should do, but I'm not going to worry too much about this because I know the auto drive guy is going to make one. And as soon as this is out, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. But really, what I want to do is do a path around the edge of the field without doing the crop damage, because it's going to make it easier when it needs to get back onto track. So we're going to just do a loop. But what I'm going to do, like I said, is just turn crop destruction off, because the last thing I want to do is damage my field just for setting this up. That would be cruel. So turn crop destruction off, and then we can just start driving around. Oh, yeah, still recording, thankfully. Thought it stopped. And at some point, maybe like now, yeah, it'll be alright. We'll call this the waypoint. So this is going to be called Field 3. Wait. There we go. So we can carry on. And we're just going to go around the edge. And hopefully there's going to be enough room. If not, we'll have to drive into the field a little bit, because we don't want to get snagged up. And because we haven't got crop destruction on, it's not going to make too much of a difference. But the only reason I'm doing this is because say the carter is just unloaded the harvester and he's probably like this side of the field. You want him to be able to connect back to it and then go round. Now you could make this two-way, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to make it single way, so like one direction basically. I keep saying one direction, I keep thinking of the band. Which I'm definitely not talking about. Yeah, it just makes it easier basically. So you can see that's a bit of a verge there, so we're going to have to go inside the field boundary here. Now, he won't do crop destruction anyway, and even though it doesn't look too pretty because we are driving through the crop, it just means it's all set up to go, and that's my main focus here. And then what we want to do is, as we come back out this field, we're going to do a big loop, and like I said, this would be much better if it was done by the auto drive guy, but we're waiting for that stuff. The map needs to release. In fact, when this video is out, the map has dropped, so everyone is going to be playing on it. It's going to be good. Hopefully everyone's enjoying it, but I just need these to move out of the way so we can swing around, because I want to set up the other field whilst I'm here. So I need to kind of get probably onto that one there, which I think I'm just about on. Nope, I've moved on to another one. There we go, that one. That's where we want to be. So if we just do a single track now and make sure that that's looking pretty good, it looks fine to me, we can then turn into this field now and do the exact same. Go around the field edge, call it a waypoint somewhere, maybe like here. It's always probably better to do it right in the centre, because then it's easier to pathfind, I think, anyway. I mean, common sense says it should be. But if we just do it here, this one, and we'll call it the same, field 2, wait, job done, and then carry on around the boundary, then we can connect back up to what we were doing when we came out of field 3, and then drive that back to the farm, and then we can do a tip trigger into the silo. We should be good, but these are good sized fields. I mean, they don't even look that big on the map in comparison to some of the other fields, but they are very long, and I think they're going to be good for like guidance steering and stuff like that, because of the fact they're all just straight. So you could do one headland here and then just drive around and you're all good. Right, so I've stopped it there, and it should have given me a nice waypoint somewhere. There we go. It's this one. So obviously it's not the tidiest. You'd do a double point it somewhere there, but I'm not too fussed about it, because as long as I connect that back up to there now and connect to this one that's just sitting in the road over here, we should pretty much be good to go. Just drive back and we should start connecting all the way back to the farm, and yeah, we can do the loop through the silo. Now I think that's probably going to be an important part too, even though it should be straightforward. It's a drive through silo. No reversing needed. You just got to make sure we swing around correctly. Give it enough space, because when you're doing it, it doesn't always emulate that. It will deviate a little bit. And as long as you give it enough space, should be alright. Right, well, what we're going to do is we're going to swing in, nice wide kind of like angle to it. And then I'm going to stop here. Stop recording. Hopefully that car can get past. There we go. Not the best time to do this when there's traffic, but it'll be alright. Now we've connected back up to that double path, so it'll follow this route coming in, and then we can connect to where we started from, and we can do a loop. And I think the best way is to probably drive... Yeah, let's do this. Let's go into the silo first, and then swing back round. I mean, there's plenty of space for this. And if we just make sure I can move the camera, there we go. Always put it ahead, just because you're guaranteed to get into the tip trigger. So we need another point, really. There we go. So that'll be fine. So from that one, I'm going to call it... Just going to call it Farm... Actually, just call it Grain Silo Tip. That'll do the job. And then all we need to do now is swing back round and connect up, and it should be all set. And that's the beauty of having plenty of space on the yard as well. So that should be fine. We just need to find the waypoint and connect back up to it. Job's a good one, which is there, that one to that one. And we are now set to go. So I can technically turn, get out of editing mode, put it into the right setting, which we want to go to... Yeah, we want to go to unload combine, this one. This is going to be our pickup target, which is going to be field 3, I think it was, to start with. Yes, it was. We'll go field 3 to start with. And then we are going to tip at grain silo tip. And that's pretty much what we need to do. Now, I have set it on the cornering speed at 65. Okay. So all we need to do now is just leave it be. It should be okay, as long as it doesn't hit any traffic. Now, that's the only problem it could have. Like, it's not going to stop and see traffic coming. So if it's just bad luck, bad timing, it will collide with some traffic. But... yeah, let's get out to the field. We're pretty much set. This has got enough fuel in. Its maintenance is perfectly fine. So we can get out to the field and get the ball rolling with this harvest. It's going to take a bit of time, like I said, because it's... yeah, let's go back with a bloody dolly on. Not the best thing to do. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time because they're two big fields in comparison to what we've done. But we have got a really good size harvester, so it should be fun to do. It'll also give us a good indication of how much money we're potentially going to make, which is something that we really need to do. The good thing about this map, though, is the price of the land and farms and everything is really good. You can buy the main farm for about 150,000, something along them lines, so it's not crazy money. Right, so we're getting close. I can see him in the distance over there. He's waiting for us. So the only thing I need to do with this is I need to match this up. Doesn't matter what mode it's on, but I need to match this up with the waypoint. So we need to put it on field 3, wait, and then the other one will say that it's got kind of like a harvester connected to that. That's the only thing we need to make sure matches. So as soon as we start, get the header on, we should be good to go. Should be. Bloody hell, fire. That was pretty mental. Can't even turn my camera. There we go. I hope there's people behind me after that. Right, so I think we can probably drive through over there. I'm just trying to think where to put my header trailer to connect to. we have got an entrance over here. So we just go up the verge a little bit. I know it's not pretty, but we need to do something. And swing it around a bit. Could have done that much better, but I'm happy with it there like that. Just about. Just about. And I will turn crop destruction back on in a second. But let's first get set up, ready to go. I'm looking forward to doing the harvesting, to be honest, because, yeah. It's better than using... I think if you had a choice... I don't mind the carting from time to time, but I do like doing the harvesting, so it's nice to know that I'm doing that, he's doing the carting, he's set up to go. All I have to do is turn crop destruction on, and we're pretty much ready. Now, you can see the yield's not that good. I mentioned in the last episode that all the fields, for precision farming wise, are, well, they're in need of everything. Lime, nitrogen. So, yeah, plenty of work to do on them. But we'll definitely get through some of it. I had some damage. It looks like there's like hail damage on that. I don't know. But we'll sort it out when we plough the field. That's a definite. So as soon as I bring my pipe out, the way auto drive works is it should just drive up. If you've not used it before, you probably have. If you're watching my channel, you probably used it many times, but or you've at least seen it. But it's basically fully automated. He's waiting for me to give him kind of like the nod, and the nod, the way it works is I bring the pipe out. I found that it's better to just stop and let him drive to you, fill up, and then let him do his thing. When he's at over 85% full in his trailer capacity, he will head to the silo, drop it off, and drive back to that weight point. So it just saves you the hassle of unloading and then driving it and tipping and coming back. You know, you can carry on harvesting, and that's what's really good about auto drive. And you can also do that with sell points and put it on loops. So let's say it's now let's say it's now December time, and we're selling that grain, and we want to get the best price for it. You know, and we found the best price, but it's right in the corner of the map, and we've got another task to do. You could set the auto drive route up to go and sell, and you could tell it you want to take 5 loads, knowing the capacity that you've got, and it would go and take it 5 times, sell it to that sell point, and then basically all you'd see is the money keep going up. And then when he's done, he'd probably go back to where he was picking it up from. You can get him to wait where they finish, or you can get him to like wait where they started at. I mean, there's loads of kind of like levels to auto drive and course play. And if you like the auto drive guy, for example, he makes the best routes, does it all the time. You know, he's like an advanced user of it. I'd say I'm like just an intermediate, whatever the right word is. I'm not a beginner, I'm not advanced. I can do enough to get everything working. I could pretty much make a fully automated harvest with course play, running probably 3 harvesters and also doing carters, but I'd probably find a few snags along the way where you've got to go and do stuff to just sort it out, and then it'd just carry on. So it's really good. And in 22 and 19, them 2 mods were a must-have, like a lifesaver. But I've found since 25 dropped and the additions that they brought in, so the GPS and the advanced kind of AI worker system, I actually don't use courseplay in auto drive as much as I used to, because I find it so much easier. Like now I'm using the in-game GPS. I just find it's really easy to use. With the mods that have come out, they've made it much better to use. So like there's one mod where you reverse now, it stops it from deactivating. There's other mods where it kind of makes it disappear, so it's not as intrusive, even though right now, even though I've got that mod on, it stays on. I feel like it's one of them things that if you turn a little bit, it'll come back. But if I do that now and then activate again, it should disappear. Hopefully, but it isn't. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. Let's have a look to see if I've got it set up somewhere. Hide lanes automatically, so it should do. And then cruise control deactivation is automatic. Show lines on. I mean, you can put it off, but I like it when it just hides it automatically, so it knows that you pretty much don't need it because you're on a straight, but it'll tell you when you get to the end, or when if you've deactivated, it'll show it up so you know where you need to snap back to. But I actually find it works really well, especially the AI workers. I find they work, some tasks they work much better than courseplay. Other tasks, courseplay obviously wins and does a better job. So it's nice to have both options. I just think the way the AI worker is just so easy on the fly to activate, even with a controller or something, it's just really straightforward and streamlined. So it's one of the things it's one of the things that Giants did a really good job of for 25. But anyway, I'm going to unload in a second. I'm getting full. I'm probably going to max out when I get to him there. So it's not really going to be a fair showcase of it, but I will do a time lapse and you can see it in action. I might do a bit of a jump cut as well when I'm on the second field and show you kind of like what it does if you are interested and don't use auto drive. It is a PC only mod, and yeah, a lot of people use it on PC because of the fact that it's really good when the auto drive guy has made a network. So it's a full network of all the sell points, all the places, all the triggers, everything. When that's been done, well, it's just a massive game changer at that point. So you pretty much can automate everything, and it just opens up you doing multiple tasks at one go on single player. And that's what I like, because I play single player the most. So yeah, I think it's a must-have when it's like that, definitely. But anyway, I've opened up the pipe. You can see now the cover's just gone off. That's like his way of saying, right, I've noticed that you've said I need emptying. This is a nice point for him to do it, so I'm not going to try and stop this time round. I'm hoping that this is all going to be automated and he'll unload on the fly. He might not, though. I might need to set it up where it unloads when I'm just trying to set. I don't know why it's not doing that, but there we go. I'm going to go 3 miles an hour just so I don't get to the end and he can hopefully drive underneath. But basically there's a setting where it says unload whilst moving, basically. And I think that was the issue. But I've got full now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it is better to stop. But I do think like on a straight like that, there's no reason why he can't do that. I mean, what we could do is just open up Auto Drive here and show you the settings for the Combine, because they are a little bit different. So you can see the second tab, you've got Combine unloading. So active unloading should mean whilst it's moving. So don't see any reason there why this wouldn't unload. Let's just go into the settings on this one. See if there's something we're missing here. So we don't want automatic refueling or repairing. That can cost quite a bit. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. But there isn't anything saying. Yeah, there isn't anything saying to unload whilst moving, unless I've missed it. So it should be doing that, but obviously, as you can see, it's not perfect, and it has struggled a little bit there. Oh, I don't know what he's doing now. I think it's because I jumped out and then it's gone, right, well, you still need unloading, so I'm going to do a loop. And I may as well wait. So as soon as it's done, we'll carry on. He should park there. He should stay there until we need him again. But when he's at 85%, you can see then it was at 62. So the next time we fill up, he will get to the point where he's completely full, and then he'll go on his way. So anything over 85%. Okay, so I've just finished my 2 headland passes, and I'm on my first up and down stretch. And I'm about to meet him again. So I'm at 77%. Now, I'm probably going to fill it before the end, but if I did fill up, if I wasn't full by the end, because the pipe's on the left-hand side and I want to turn back around and come back on myself, the left-hand side, if I needed to stop, would be inside the field. So I would stop at the end and just bring my pipe out and then let the carter come up to me, get full, and off he goes. I know I've got as empty as I can possibly be whilst filling up the trailer, and it gives me the chance to get back up and down again, and hopefully by the time he's gone and tipped it, I've maybe filled back up again. So really, both of us are being efficient with the time. And yeah, it's a brilliant mod. And if you have switched, because I know a lot of players have switched to PC this time round, mainly because like obviously 25 demands more. We've lost the older generation of console, and I think it was probably a good time to come to PC for Farming Simulator, which is where it's best at, like because of the mods and the script mods and everything that's available. But if you are new to it, it's something that's really useful. There's a load of tutorials from some great creators. And some brilliant people that know what they're on about. So, yeah, definitely check it out. But this is a perfect example. I'm at 97%, so even though I've got 3% more, I would not turn at this point. I would obviously just like make him just come to me. So as soon as you open the pipe out, that indicates, yep, come on, I'm ready to, and you know, I'm ready for you to come and take this full cart that we've got, this this tank, full tank, and then he's going to be full in the trailer and head off. Now I would love to follow him along, but we're going to crack on. I'm going to do a bit of a time lapse, but I will just do a time lapse on the rest of this field because it's going to take a bit of time. Then I'm going to do a jump cut, so we will at some point follow one of the you know, in the next field we'll follow the auto drive and the carter right down to the silo, and you can watch it in action because it's impressive. It's impressive to do, and it's one of the things that, you know, you don't get from the in-game kind of AI and guidance steering. So now he knows it's full. He's not sitting where we've, you know, where we unloaded from. He's going to crack on, and we've got 36%. So yeah, we need to take a time really because we're going to be sitting and waiting. So we'll carry on as normal. I'll do a bit of a time lapse, and yeah, if we have to wait, we have to wait. But we may as well try and be as productive as possible whilst he's going to tip that first load. So change of plan. We're not going to do the time lapse then. That's because I made a mistake. And I usually overlook this, I'll be honest. I would do this a lot. Basically, where I put the waypoints, it's after kind of like the exit. Now, it is probably better to put it before the exit because it needs to hit that waypoint after it's finished. You know, when it's been triggered to say, right, I'm full now, I need to go tip at the silo. Yeah, it needs to go to that waypoint again, and then it will go to the grain silo. So it won't just kind of think, right, I'm on a waypoint, I can just follow that. It goes to this waypoint. So I need to replace that. I need to rename it and replace it. So what I'm going to do is, because it's all the way up there, I probably want it to be, ideally, about here. So somewhere like there, because then when it gets there, it knows it can just carry on. But at the same time, it's probably a good idea to connect these up. And we can do the same with this one over here. So what I'm going to do is call it, like this one here, we're just going to call it Field 3, wait. Just call it 2 because we know we got it wrong the first time. And then we can change that to that. So then what it'll end up doing is just driving a big loop round to that point. But if we actually go to the field, it'll probably stop there this time round. But that one up there we won't use. Like I said, these will all be done properly anyway by the auto drive guy. And at that point, I don't need to worry too much anyway. Now, I have got crop destruction back on. So if we just put it like there and call this one Field 2. So Field 2, wait 2. So then that one's set up as well. But what we also need to do, just in case it does need to loop back round, because you've got to keep in mind that when it's at this point now, say that it's gone, we're harvesting this field and it's gone to the silo to tip, come back, it'll do a full loop, wait there for us to be ready again, and then say it needs to kind of go back round because we're at this point here, it can at least carry on, and then we're all good. So now, this is much better. Yeah, he won't need to now do two loops around like before, which was a bit crazy. So, yeah, not amazing, but yeah, I'd rather him do the loop as he comes back through. So if we start it from like here, for example, now, Field 3, wait 2. No harvester with the same target, which is what I was telling you previously. So now I need to change this one to Field 3, wait 2. we should, if we open up the pipe, he should now, well, we'll see in the distance. You can just see the cover's just gone off, and now he should do a loop round the field and find a kind of pathfind to us. And you can also see as well, because I finished where I did going back up the pipes inside the field, where the crop is. We don't want him driving over it, so I've kind of moved out the way whilst I was waiting for him. But he actually did that really well, because he didn't need to do a big loop around the field. If only he did that like in auto drive on the way out. But yeah, he has to go to that waypoint first. But it would be good if it just knows, right, I'm going to this location now, so I don't need to go to the waypoint first. I just need to find a route to it. And there might be a setting for that. We could check it, see if there is, but I don't know. Let's go to this. Oh, see, it won't do it when it's like that. Now he's going to do a loop again. Bloody hell. Like, I don't imagine there is a setting for it anyway, but I won't be moving out of this now. Let this do its thing. But vehicle settings, avoid fruit, park in the field, cycle, pick up and deliver, park at jobs finished, automatic tip side. So yeah, doesn't seem to be anything there, does it? Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there is anything, but I can't see anything. So yeah, I don't think there is. I think that's pretty much how it is. So let's get a line back up, we can crack on. At least he's there waiting for us for the next time round.
Find your way to the light. Under the city lights, you roam alone. Invisible world we've never known. As the night descends and the shadows grow long, will you find a place where you belong? In the quiet of the night, you're walking through the shadows of a world forgotten.
Welcome back, everybody. You join me right at the end of Field 2, I think it is. Yeah, Field 2. And it has been a slog. 2 hours of gameplay, but I've really enjoyed it. And I've had a lot of time to think whilst doing it and coming up with a bit of a plan of attack going forward. I feel like we can potentially make loads of money on this series. Like, we could actually focus so much on arable that we could get like multiple harvesters, either You know, when it's time to harvest, having more fields and more harvesters means that you can go two ways. You can have multiple harvesters in one field at a time, or you can spread them out, workers in separate fields while you're doing one. Loads of auto drive carters going about the place, taking it into the silo and making big cash and just expanding out kind of like the fleet. That is an option. So I've been looking at like the precision farming side of things and the soil map mainly, because I told you that this side here is like sandy loam. Now, don't get me wrong, sandy loam's really good. You can see the expected yield potential is 100%. So we're not taking a hit, but we're also not making a bonus. Now, I've had a look around the fields and you can see 16, for example, is like 106. So it's a little bit more, and that's because it's got loam in there. But the sections that are loamy sand, and that's not very good at all. I think silty clay is the worst. But this field here, right by where we're at, that's a really good field to have because it's 79% loam. Now, you can see as soon as it starts getting close to like where that kind of river is or stream, you see that we're dropping down because there's too much silty clay, landy soam. What the hell is that? It's loamy sand, and that's just because we're by that kind of riverbed, and which makes sense. So we know to avoid that. We are coming to the end of the field. Bloody hell, I was close then. There we go. That's that though. That's the field done. Now I did find the spot where it's all low. And it's right in this section. There's a couple of fields that are actually pretty big. Now, 42 is a really good field to have. Biggest field that I can see, and that's, again, 118%. So pretty much 125 is the max. Then you got this, 41, really good. 40, really good. But it's basically like a stretch here. Like, this is full. That's 99%, so that's pretty much 100% loam, which is a perfect field. But then you've got another one here, 37, and another one here at 36. So really, if you can get these fields here, up this stretch, these big arable fields, and maybe even plant your farm and arable work around this spot, then you're off to a winner. You really are. So we could have the main farm at 83, the fields around, but we've got to try and branch out this way where the loam is, because that's where the money is. Even though we're making good money now, there's more money to be made. Now, from experience on my Bevington Farm series, doing oats is the way to go. It's cracking money, and I think it's just a no-brainer. We need to do oats. It gives off straw, so we can make a load from the straw, but the price we get for the oats is, yeah, it's cracking. It's much better than barley and wheat. So I was thinking next time round, maybe with the money we're going to get now, if we can't pay off the baler, we could invest in another field and do 5 fields of oats, and then from that pay off the baler and just keep expanding out like that. There's going to be big jumping points because obviously as soon as I've got the field prepped, or the fields should I say, because there's going to be a lot of them, that's pretty much the job done. Well, you know, after you've got it sprayed, everything like that, it's done. So we can go from there. But yeah, a lot to do. Definitely a lot to do, but also a lot of potential on this map, and a lot of money to be made. But I do think we need to focus on that arable and just do a bit of beef stock on the side and rearing them up and everything. But I mean, it makes me think, like, these fields aren't the biggest. Like, look at the size comparison to some of these fields, and it's just taking me 2 hours of gameplay to harvest these two. Now that's 16 acres, but you can see the actual field size, is 13 acres plus this 10. So we've pretty much done about 24 acres in them two. Now, this one over here alone is 32. So imagine if we owned like 4 of these fields here. It would take a long time. You would need multiple harvesters. We really would. Now, not just because of the fact I'm playing single player on my own, so it's going to be a challenge and a half, but mainly because of the fact, yeah, it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work to do. And I think if we're doing the arable side of things, well, we can. There's so many potential things you can do. You can even get like workers out on contracts. So I'm excited for it. I am. But next episode we'll be doing a bit of baling, because we've got 4 fields now to bale up, make some money from that. We're just going to sell it direct. I might keep 4 or 5. It might keep about 5 bales, no more than that, just in case I do get, well, basically if I feel the need to, if I need them basically for anything, which I doubt, because, you know, I'm even if I get some cows, they're going to be outside. So, yeah, that's it. But anyway, I did say at the end, when the lag stopped, there we go. Yeah, I did say at the end, what's it doing now? Yeah, there we go. I was going to jump into this and we could see it in action, knowing that I aren't controlling this. Well, this is fully an AI worker driving back and tipping in. I want to also have a look to see how much we've got. I will drive the harvester back. I'll do that in between the episode, but this episode has definitely gone on long enough. So as soon as I get back, we'll have a look at the amount of yield we've got, and then pretty much in the next episode we will crack on with getting all this baling done. I might have to again do some jump cuts with that because it's going to be a fair task, but important one, because if we look at the money we're going to make, from what I can tell, I think we're going to be well over the 100,000 mark with the amount of trips it's done. And at some point I'm going to need a few more carting tractors and trailers. It's exciting, man, because this time round I've not been doing that. I've been focusing on animals in a smaller kind of yard, even with the small holding series before it, which this is actually replacing. You know, that was small. This is going to be much bigger equipment, bigger fields, but full on British arable farming, which I'm excited to get stuck into. So yeah, but it's a challenge because it's single player, and I think this would be the perfect multiplayer map. So if you are interested, we're thinking of starting up a Saxlingham multiplayer server. So you'd have to jump in the Discord server and check that out. I don't know when it's going to drop. It might be like from when this video comes out, coming up to the weekend, something around that time. It could be coming out. But if you are interested, jump in the Discord server. Let us know you're interested so you can get all the roles and notifications. But it won't be long, I promise you. I think we're aiming for the weekend coming when this video comes out. So I'm not actually driving this, but I just wanted to see how it's done. It's obviously done really well because I've not had once it caused any issues. I expected it at least get caught up with a bit of traffic at some point, but we've been very lucky. It's not had any issues at all. But I'm intrigued to see how much we've got. And I want him to stop as well here. We need to wash everything off, fuel everything back up, and get ready for the baling in the next episode. But another 15,000 litres going in of wheat. And yeah, we've got to be well over the £100,000 mark. Not yield, I'm on about pounds mark. I think we're like 150,000 litres minimum. There we go. So let's stop that there. We'll jump out. And, well, I did just see it. 163,000. So we've gone well over that. Now, I think that's starting fields. The only two fields I bought extra are the two grass fields, which we haven't even worked in yet. So that's incredible. If we have a look at our stocks, our time-saving stock checker, yeah, 120,000, and that's without straw. So we might actually be able to pay off this 163, but we'd probably be left with nothing. So it's interesting. Well, I don't know what to do now. I'm pretty I'm torn. It's like a 50-50 decision. But definitely going to have to grow some oats. We can even put the oats in. If we can get these fields baled, cultivated, we can start seeding in oats in October and put it in through the winter. And then worry about, you know, spraying and everything going into the spring months. I think that might be a good idea, you know. Let's focus on doing some oats for a second harvest in all the fields. And we'll get it in over autumn into the winter months. It's got to be the right time to plant. Anyway, let me drive this back, park it up, because this also needs a good wash. She's done for the year. First harvest with dyslexia, done us proud. Needs a bit of fuel, and it also, just to keep it on top, I will get it repaired and everything. That mod that I've been talking about, the advanced breakdown system mod, I think it's that. Something like that. I keep forgetting the name. For some reason, it's just not sticking with me, but I've done a showcase video on it. It's a brilliant mod, but I think this series would be perfect for it because of the amount of heavy equipment use we're going to be doing with it being arable focused. So yeah, as soon as that feels like it's ready, getting closer to like a more finished version, because it's beta, and I've just got a feeling it's going to interfere here and there, and I don't want to cause any errors on this save game or on this map. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant mod though for this series and for this map. Right, home sweet home after a very long day farming. I mean, we're still in that same first in-game day when I started the series, so we've done 2 episodes. It's now 4 p.m. and I can tell that my character's basically like, right, we need to stop. We need to stop, wash all the equipment off, fuel it all up, and do some baling with our new baler next time round. But superbly happy with the series. Honestly, I'm excited to pick up the game again. And even though I love Farming Simulator, enjoyed playing on Bevington Farm, can't go wrong with Calmsden, it's nice to just get something fresh and new. As good as Calmsden is, as anyone will know, it's a brilliant map. And we were very lucky to get that so early on in FS 25 days. So very grateful for that. But at the same time, having that fresh new map is always a nice thing, and Briscoe's done an outstanding job. And it's going to be the same when Whitcomb comes out in 2026, hopefully at the start of 2026. Fresh face, FS25 map biopsy, you know, can't wait. But it's really nice to just have a good map to play on and enjoy it. And I just love the fields. I love the layout of everything. It just makes me want to go and do some arable work and really set up some kind of farming empire. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up for me. That helps me out on my channel. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator. See you, everybody.